All right, so this week we are kicking off Joaquin Phoenix month because every film we're doing this month has Joaquin Phoenix in a lead role in anticipation of Napoleon, which comes out at the end of this month. This week we are doing The Master. This is a Paul Thomas Anderson film. So many familiar faces. We have Joaquin Phoenix. We have Philip Seymour Hoffman. We have Amy Adams. We have Rami Malek. We have Laura Dern. Jesse Plemons. I mean, the list goes on. Well, that's the main list, actually. But why do you laugh?
You're a funny guy. Keep going.
This is a movie about control. It's about post-war trauma and this tug between freedom and just like being a drifter and just doing things at random and like working towards something under the direction of a master. I'm excited to talk about it. I think Hunter's excited to talk about it as well. He looks really excited. Look at him. Look how excited he looks.
I'm so excited. But I'm more excited to answer one question. Well, I guess actually to ask you a question that then you'll answer. And that is, but is The Master good?
We about to find out.
Let's find out. Let's find out.
But is it good podcast? Yeah. Hello.
What's up?
Welcome to the But Is It Good podcast. I'm your host, Zach Olson.
And I'm your host, Hunter Callahan.
What's up?
I just realized what your name said on the platform. That took me off guard for a second.
So when you hopped on the call and the first thing you did was call me pig fuck, you were just calling me pig fuck? You didn't look at the fact that my name is...
It's because I called you that earlier.
Yeah. Well,
and I meant it. I wasn't like quoting the movie.
You meant it. You meant that I am a pig fuck. Great. This is a great start. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm reaching for my light because it's too bright for me. I'm good. Getting ready to go to New York in a couple of days. And
very exciting shit.
Just hanging out, man. That's about it. It's actually been kind of a nice, chill week. How about you, Zach? How about you?
I'm sick. I'm sick. Athena's sick. She has fucking bordetella. Excuse my language.
We just said pig fuck like 6 times already, so I don't.
Well, okay. Let me fix my language real quick. Fucking kennel cough.
Okay.
Okay. Got him. So she's honestly she's in good spirits. Like she's just as energetic and she wants to play and run around and do all that kind of stuff. But you can tell she's not feeling too hot. It's like a child. Like I'm sure there's times where Hollis is like, I want to play, I want to watch Miss Rachel, but he's not feeling good because he's sick. Yeah.
There's times when I want to play and watch Miss Rachel, but I'm not feeling too good either.
Yeah.
Happens to everybody.
That's what I do. Friday night, I want mushed up apples and Miss Rachel.
It's a good show.
All right, let's reel it in.
The Master. Zach, happy Joaquin Phoenix month.
Happy Joaquin Phoenix month.
I'm actually quite excited to do this. This was your idea.
Mm-hmm,
it was your idea, and it was a good one. One of the few.
Fuck you.
Just kidding.
It was between Joaquin Phoenix month or doing nothing but Napoleon movies.
That actually would have been funny.
Which would have been funny.
Yeah,
because there were some older movies that have Napoleon Bonaparte in them that I think would have been really actually really interesting. There was a silent film, a film that had Marlon Brando in it. And that would have been cool. And then we also would have done Napoleon Dynamite. But we're doing Joaquin Phoenix month instead.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
Yeah, I love Joaquin. So we should just dive in, right? We're doing The Master.
Yeah.
Did you see, you don't get on Instagram, but my posts, yes, I posted the schedule. And I did red, white, and blue because France.
Oh, yeah.
Get it?
France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was really clever. I was really proud of myself.
That is really clever.
Thanks. I worked hard. It took me like 4 hours to think of that. But yeah, The Master, Zach, we can, I give way to you. It's your episode, so I'll let you drive the ship here.
And also, not just France. Not just France. Not just France, but also Puerto Rico, because that's where Joaquin Phoenix was born.
Is it really? I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shall we get into the movie?
Yeah, did you ask me a question and I just zoned out?
Yeah, I was just saying, like, it's your episode, so whoever you want to go first.
Tell me your your first impressions of this film, Hunter.
I had some.
Mm-hmm.
I had some first impressions. This movie was very interesting to me because I think the only P.T. Anderson film that I've seen is Licorice Pizza, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a ton of his stuff. So it was strange.
Sorry. You haven't seen
fine.
Boogie Nights. You haven't
Boogie
seen
Nights.
There Will Be Blood.
I know all the names of the movies. Like, I've heard of them all.
I just want to clarify because that's wild. There Will Be Blood is an amazing film.
I've heard that's incredible. That's got Daniel Day-Lewis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen any of those. What's funny is that when I was watching it, I really couldn't tell if I liked it. And it was strange because I was aware of the fact that I was watching really, really good performances. Like, Joaquin's great. The whole cast is incredible. And it wasn't even that it was like, it's superbly made. It's great shots. It's the direction's great. It's just, I almost was like, I just don't like what I'm seeing. I think it maybe I'm just uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Where I was like, I just feel,
okay.
And it is, in a sense, kind of tough to follow at first. But when it ended, I had like a jolt of like, that was really emotional. It was strange. Like, when it kind of came together at the end, I was like, oh man, my boy Freddie he's really changed. He's really grown. He's really like that. I don't know. I kind of saw more of it, if that makes sense. When it came to close, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of see, at least to me, what it was saying. That being said, I think there's some incredible filmmaking in this. There's a scene towards kind of in the middle that I think is one of the best scenes I've ever seen. Performance-wise.
Like of any film?
I mean, recently, I thought it was like incredible. And it might have just been down to the performances of both Hoffman and Phoenix. So I don't know. I think it was really. I think this is a really good movie that is not for everybody.
Okay.
I think some people will be like, "What the hell is this? This is weird," and I think you have to know really like whose mind you're in as you're watching it.
Yes.
You know, because it's kind of just a movie about Freddie Quell. And I appreciate that there's a lot of kind of mundane things that we see. And it's like, well, it's just showing you his life. And like when I kind of realized that, I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of fascinating. So yeah, I think I did actually enjoy it. Kind of looking back, there were some moments where I was like struggling to kind of get in it for a minute, I will admit. And there seemed to be some things where like dialogue wise that were just, it's almost felt kind of just for shock value, where I was like, I don't like, there's one scene in particular that I'm thinking of where even Freddie was like, I don't want to hear any of this. I don't want to hear this. And I was like, I guess that's why we're in the scene. But when it started, I was like, what is this? You know what I mean?
You're talking about the erotica scene?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of out of nowhere, and I was like, hold on a second. But then even when Freddie's like, I don't want to, you know what I mean?
I do.
Now it's your turn, Zach.
Okay. So for the first 30 minutes, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. Let me just get that out of the way. So I think
I'm gonna pull up your text thread that you sent me.
Well, I mean, we don't have to go through the text thread. I mean, we can go through the text thread if you want, but I'll just say that the opening few scenes, I wasn't sure if we were bouncing in between timelines, because at one point it looked like he was in like World War I, stressing out. Sure, I know it was World War II, but it felt like it was World War I. Okay, is what I'm trying to tell you. I know it was World War II.
I got you.
And then it's like we fast forward, and it looks like it could have been the fucking 70s or the 80s. I don't know. It felt like I wasn't sure if Freddie was having visions or what was going on. Turns out it was just linear plot, and I just didn't fucking get it, right? It's all just a normal timeline. The performances, it's you can't deny that they're great. At times they feel jarring. I'll say it feels like certain characters don't fit in certain scenes, which I don't know. Maybe that's intentional, right?
Okay, yeah.
I do think at times it was hard to follow. Sorry, let me clear my throat. Here, let me I got my inhaler here. I'm sick, so bear with me.
Shake it up.
Yep. Okay, that's better. But as the layers of this film started peeling back and I saw the center of the onion, it became clear to me that this film has a very profound message and these themes that emerge as the film goes on. And I don't know. Yeah, I liked it. I had a good time. I was confused, but I had a good time.
That's a pretty good slogan for this movie. Confused, but you'll have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cool, Zach. With that, do you know what time has come?
Oh God. Okay. Yeah.
It's time for move. Hold on a second. I want to change things up. Wait. It's too late. I should have done this beforehand because now it's not fun. Maybe. It's time for... Oh, wait. Why didn't it do it? Oh, never mind. Didn't work. I was going to try and say movie in a minute in a different language and confuse you, but Google let me down. I don't know, Zach. I'm tired. I was just trying to be funny. Don't give me that look.
What language? What language?
I was going to do Italian.
Oh, don't you just know Italian?
I've been wanting to learn it, so that's why. Maybe I just living vicariously through this. Anyway, it's time for movie in a minute. So what happens here is, oh, by the way, I had a listener reach out. It was Chase. And he said that he really thought it was funny when we would talk about The Shining and then go on tangents about random stuff. So we can do that.
He thought it was funny when we talked about the movie
and then went off on random tangents. So we can just go on random tangents if you want to. It's listener approved.
I'm telling you, when we go off on the tangents, that's what's funny. That's what the people want. They don't want to hear about movies.
Movie in a minute is when Zach today has 60 seconds. That is 60 seconds. That is 1 minute, no more, no less, to describe the entire film. When I say the entire film, I mean the entire film. I mean every scene, every actor, every set, every setting, every time of day. I mean every line. Just basically, you got to watch the entire movie in 1 minute, and you can't miss a single word. Okay, is that cool? All right.
I translated movie in a minute into Italian. Film in un minuto.
That's disappointing.
So what? How are you unable to find that?
Well, because I didn't have it pulled up in time, and I just typed in something random, and it was like,
Okay.
Google was like, you want to go translate something? And I was like, I wanted you to do it for me, stupid computer.
Film in un minuto.
Welcome to Film in un momento.
Minuto.
Minuto. I can't even do
There you
it.
go.
Memento, like the movie.
Right.
Memento.
Film in a memento.
Are
right.
you ready? You ready, Zach?
No, I haven't. I was doing that. I was doing your job for you, and I wasn't pulling up a timer.
God, I can't work like this.
So let me do my job and your job, and I'll just do everybody's fucking job.
Hey, when we
sound?
inevitably have a falling out and quit the podcast, do you want to do it live on air?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, perfect.
Just have like a long ass list of like reasons why the other person fucking sucks. Yeah, that'll be good.
But we have to promise to post it as like our final episode.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's called "This Is the End," like that really bad movie. Are you gonna do this thing or what? What's taking?
Yeah,
so
I was
long?
waiting for you to shut the fuck up. Are you ready? This is The Master. Movie in a minute. In 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so there's this alcoholic nymphomaniac named Freddie Freeman who comes back from World War II, and he poisons an old man, not intentionally. He like makes his own alcohol, and he goes on a boat to like escape from the people chasing him. And he meets Philip Seymour Hoffman. Can't remember his fucking name. He's this like cult leader who does processing and like puts you into like a state and then like, you know, analyze. It's like psychoanalysis. It's like therapy kind of, but like with a dick that's doing it. And he's like, oh, I've done so many things. I'm a doctor. I'm a philosopher. You know, all that bullshit. They go to jail. They yell at each other. They flip each other the bird. They're like, fuck you. I fucking hate you. Freddie Freeman escapes on a motorcycle and goes to find this girl who I guess it was like years ago. She's not there. So then he goes back, and then Philip Seymour Hoffman says, if you leave, I'll hate you forever. And that's the movie. That was a minute.
Amazing.
How was that?
Amazing. It took me a minute to realize what name you said.
Yeah.
Which Freddie Freeman are you talking about? Freddie Freeman from the now Dodgers or Freddie Freeman from Shazam?
Why not both?
Oh man, don't sue us, Freddie Freeman. We just miss you. Not that
They
much.
both
though.
have
Not that much.
They
'cause we
both
got
have
Matt.
trauma, so they could both fit in this
They
role.
have trauma. What's Freddie Freeman's trauma?
He wanted to stay with the Braves.
Hmm.
It's well known.
Okay.
His
Okay.
agent bungled his deal.
Bungled his deal. I'm curious to hear your take on the processing. Since you said it was basically psychoanalyzation, but with a dick doing it.
Not psychoanalyzation. Psychoanalysis.
Whatever. I'm not a psychologist. But with a dick doing it, I want to understand what you mean by that. Do you mean just because he's a man? Is that what you mean?
No, he's just got this big ego, and he treats people like literal animals. And
Okay, yeah, fair.
like a trained psychologist who does psychoanalysis, even though, you know, they were problematic for different reasons back in the day. You know, I'm thinking like you're lying on the chair and everything's about your mother, right?
Yeah.
Let's stay like extremely base level. That's kind of what he was doing. He was like providing a space for the people to open up and explore like past memories. Some of it was fabricated, right? Like he was like putting ideas in people's heads and you know, doing things like that.
Yeah.
But the way he approached it was obviously much more problematic because he's literally trying to control everyone around him and doing a pretty good job at it with a few exceptions, right?
Yeah. I think it's interesting. Well, hold on. We can back up because I want to get to that in a minute. I was looking at some stuff on the themes of the movie. We can come back because I really do. I want to talk about his name is Lancaster Dodd, by the way.
Yeah.
I want to talk about him a lot. What? You said that you didn't remember his name.
Yeah.
But the first little part of the film is very interesting because we see we meet Freddie. We kind of see his plight, if you will. I feel like I forgot that you're leading this episode, so I started talking. So
no, please talk, because I mean this is helpful. Was he drinking bomb juice?
Yeah, dude. He drinks everything. He drinks everything.
Like literal? Was that like gasoline? Like what would be in a bomb like that?
It would have had to have been some sort of fuel. Sorry, I've got like a stray here. It's bugging me.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was the first time where I was like, "What are they? Did they use it to stash stuff, or are they actually drinking like fuel from a bomb?" Freddie, it's really interesting because there is an inherent like you kind of, how do I word this? Did you like Freddie?
Not really, but
Yeah.
I mean, like that's not a bad thing, right? He's very erratic. He seems, and this goes back to like the therapy stuff, but he would be considered maladjusted, you know, like he doesn't seem to, which he is coming. He's post World War II and like PTSD and like all this stuff, and he's been existing. But even when they're on the beach at the beginning, are they still at war on the beach?
Yeah, I kind of took that as like they were still on active duty, maybe just
like it was like R&R, but they
Yeah,
were on
just-
active duty. So
yeah.
like even within that group of like young men who are doing war stuff, he fucks a sand hole,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, "All right, dude, chill." You know?
They laugh for like a minute, and it's just like, okay, man. That's what I was gonna say. Like, it's really, he makes me really sad, and that's how I felt at the end of the movie. I felt really sad, but also empathetic to an extent
Mm-hmm.
for him. Not even so much to like defend him or come to his defense or like him per se,
Sure.
but being like, man, this guy's having a tough time. Like he just can't. Something's not clicking for him. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of baked in trauma. And we learned that like his dad's dead, and his mom, he says, is in like a loony bin.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell at the beginning, like he doesn't quite get the social aspect of existing.
Right.
You know
That's
what I
right.
mean?
There's one point where I don't remember if he's already at the like convent place, but there's this girl just like sitting across from him. They're doing like some sort of radio show thing.
Yes, and I was like,
you know what I'm talking
got
about?
some
And he
guts.
just writes on a piece of paper, "Wanna fuck," with a smiley face, doesn't he? Isn't that what
yeah,
he writes?
Yeah.
And just like gives it to her, and she like smiles at him, but then doesn't.
Well, that's the thing.
Is that the girl from later that he's like? She's like on top of him in bed. That's not the same girl,
I don't think
is
so,
it?
no.
Okay.
That's the funny thing is that like he seems to like do okay with women.
With his strat.
Yeah, like that sounds. I don't mean to make that sound good or bad, like it, but it's surprising because like even when he's working, because he does look kind of sickly and like, and he acts super strange. Like let's just be honest. But with the girl at the department store, like they're going at it like in the back room and like
Dillard's or whatever.
yeah, then Dillard's or fucking Macy's or something.
Yeah, I mean it was, right?
Yeah, it's probably Sears if it's back in the 50s.
Okay, that's fair.
Sears and Roebuck. But then he's like, let's go out tonight. And he's like passed out. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't, but it still works. And like that's, I think, the strangest thing about the scene that you just described, which is funny because one, how out of touch he is with like, I guess one, courtship, but also two, like just like kind of etiquette, proper manners
Yeah.
of like how to converse with somebody. When he writes like, "Do you want to fuck?" on the paper and shows it to her, I was like, did she just like smile at him? Like I'd be like, "Excuse me."
Well, she's
but-
probably trying to keep it low key and just
Maybe.
but damn.
I don't know. And I actually do want to talk about the very, very end, that final scene, because I feel like that's a lot heavier than I expected to like realize it would be. But we'll get
Do you
there.
want to go there now? I mean,
Well, no, I think that it was so interesting to me because throughout this, okay, I'm going to be very broad for a second. I'm going to try and skip through a lot that I want to talk about, but the biggest thing is that Freddie never has a home. He never has a place where he's kind of accepted.
He's a drifter, like completely.
Then he finds the cause. And it's weird because it's this place where, like, he's abused. He is genuinely abused and manipulated and humiliated and broken down. But he still is, I guess, in his mind, is like, these people, I'm accepted here. I'm welcomed here.
Yeah.
And it's to the point where he's gaslighted and stuff, where Lancaster's like, no one likes you but me, all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so at the end, when he kind of breaks free of that and he's grown, like, we see... He kind of sees through Lancaster. Then he goes to see the girl that he loved, and she's gone. And he actually, like, reacts in a way that's kind of healthier, and, like, talks to the mother and, like, asks, how's her dad? And just asks, and he, like, reacts. And he's like, no, it's okay, And it looks like a struggle for him. Like, it looks like he's trying hard to do it, but he does it. And then he goes to this bar, finds this girl. They have sex, and... For some reason, that scene to me was so sad, but also kind of endearing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, he has somebody, maybe it's just a fling. I'm not saying they're going to be together, but, like, he has somebody there, and they're laughing, and they're being fun, like, silly. And then he asks those questions. He's like, say your name, he starts processing. And so it was weird to me because it was like, oh, he probably... in a strange way, still clings to that as, like, his home.
Right.
Or, like, a place that he knew. And I thought that was a really beautiful ending, honestly. Like, I really did. It's just kind of interesting how many different...
I gotta get my food.
Parts of life... I was gonna talk to... Damn it. I just think it's interesting how the cause, was ultimately... I don't want to say negative experience, but, like, there was a lot of really hard things that happened to him, some abuse and stuff, but it also it kind of still stays with them. You know what I mean? Like, how that kind of shapes us. So the end of that for me, I don't know, I think it really showed kind of his growth, I guess, or maybe his acceptance, maybe, of that.
I think acceptance is the right word. I'm not sure if it's growth, but I mean, there is growth, right? Because when he meets Lancaster Dodd, and they do, like, their first processing, which, honestly, I was probably still trying to orient myself, but I don't remember how they even got to that point where he was like, yeah, I'll close my eyes and let you process me,
Yeah. That was the scene that I was saying was one of the best things I've ever seen. That was.
It was good. It was really good, right?
I thought it was phenomenal.
But I think in that initial session, he's asking him, or maybe it's a little later on, at some point he asks him, like, do you get jealous? And he's like, yeah, if anyone lays their hands on my woman, I'm going to fucking kill him. Or, like, whatever he says, right? Like, he's very...
Makes me sick or something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Like, he said, like, that's crossing a line. Whereas with the other questions, it feels like he's lying and saying, like, how he wants to be rather than... You know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah.
So I'm going about this a weird way, but Lancaster Dodd's, like, breaking down his defenses until he's, like, actually telling the truth about shit.
Yeah, that's the strange thing is that Lancaster Dodd is full of shit, but in a way, it's still effective for Freddie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think it works to a point where Freddie's able to see through him. Now,
well, I think to the extent that the master is literally like inflicting his will upon these like puppets under him. Freddy's not on board with that, and even though like at certain points in the movie it seems like he goes along with it, you can tell he's like taken aback by it. So like the scene where they're at dinner, and Lancaster Dodd says like something about like the pig. Is he talking about a pig? The same pig that gets fucked?
No, that's some dude who's like a skeptic.
Right.
Do you mean
that's the skeptic dude.
The like dragon part?
Okay, the dragon. Yeah, it's a dragon. It's not a pig. And then the pig fuck comes a little bit later, like 5 minutes later, because that's the same dinner. But he's talking about.
I don't think it is. But go on.
I'm pretty fucking sure.
I don't think it is because the dragon is at the wedding. Do you mean the dinner? Okay, continue because you're talking about is Freddie already like in the cause at this point?
I'm not sure. He might not be. Maybe it is a separate scene.
Because the dragon is at the end of his daughter's wedding, where he's like, "Picture a dragon."
Okay.
And
All
then
right.
he's
Yeah.
Okay.
At his daughter's on the day of his daughter's wedding.
Yes.
Another tangent that we could go on is the fact that it felt Godfather-ish for a second, because he did this thing with his jaw, and then he says, my daughter's getting married today, and I'm going to do this favor for you, blah, blah, blah. Make me some alcohol, which might be jet fuel.
Yeah.
Anyways, I feel like I'm in a tangent within a tangent within a tangent within a tangent.
Inception.
All that to say that the dragon, he says the dragon is on a leash, and it's like the dragon does what I tell it to, and then he looks at Freddie Freeman. And Freddie Freeman's like, I'm just trying to hit baseballs.
What if Freddie Freeman's a listener to this podcast?
Dog, my printer is printing something right now.
Oh, sick. Go grab it. Let's see what it is.
998-7291.
Let me just see it. Hold it up. Wow. It's a ghost.
You can't see shit, can you?
It's a ghost. No, I think at first, because that dragon scene happens early on in the cause, I guess, in his journey with the cause. I think he's still so kind of shocked at oh, I can be here. Like, they're being nice, I guess. He's just sort of going with it. You know what I mean? And he goes like that until, I don't know her name, but Peggy. Peggy tells him you can't drink anymore. No more drinking. No more hooch. Whatever she says to Lancaster. No more of that boy's hooch. Which was an interesting scene as well. But it's interesting because I think, is it after that where he becomes very violent in senses where he goes and beats up that dude the pig fuck guy, he beats him up and then starts getting really aggressive to Lancaster's son and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's but he's also sneaking drinks too. The next, she tells him you can't drink, and then it cuts to him on the porch, and he's sneaking drinks. So, I'm not sure where I was going with that, but I just was talking, I guess.
I realized what I was trying to say earlier, and we got off on a couple tangents. But early in the film, he says, I can't stand the idea of someone being with my woman, or whatever he says. Then, about 3/4 of the way through the film, he goes back to find this 16-year-old girl. I guess she's not 16 anymore. She's probably 23. And she's gone, and she's married. And he, actually is calm about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's clear that So I guess what I was trying to say is, I think to the extent that Lancaster Dodd is trying to control him, he's not there for that. But in the way that what he's doing through the process sort of mirrors Freddie back to himself and has him looking introspectively, was effective, right?
Yeah.
You're not listening to me.
No, I am. I'm looking something up in relation to what you're saying.
What did I say?
I'm trying to think of when
What did I say?
You're talking about it mirrors him back to himself. What Lancaster Dodd is saying mirrors Freddie back to himself.
So what I was saying, I was talking about Justin Timberlake.
Oh. Okay, cool. I know. I was with you.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of, so when he goes to visit Doris's mother, I was when does he leave? But that's
when he rides off on the motorcycle.
He drives on the motorcycle, yeah.
Which that was one of those scenes that I just wasn't really sure, what Lancaster Dodd was trying to do to begin with.
No, that's the thing.
Let's get on this motorcycle and just fucking go, yeah.
I want to talk about him for a second. So I really did enjoy, I really liked Freddie's journey, and it's fascinating because it's just his perspective. We see him evolve from when he's I don't know, he's kind of a slime ball, but at the same time he's changing. He's this part where he's
he's our slime ball.
He's our slime ball, but when they're dancing and he's I guess it's his vision. He's picturing all the women naked and is the thing with Lancaster's daughter real, or is that imagined? Where she feels him up and stuff. Because
Yeah.
it never comes up again. And
That's
then,
right.
And she's like, he makes me uncomfortable. I think he's in love with me or whatever. But then, like, when he's driving, she's like, yay, go Freddie. It's really strange. But it's
that was Peggy saying "Go Freddie," wasn't it?
I thought that was his daughter. I couldn't really tell. Maybe.
I thought that was Peggy.
I don't know. Anyway, but it's fascinating because we see him build a relationship with Lancaster, and it starts with his drinks. Lancaster's like, hey, make more of this, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's that breakthrough moment of that therapy where Lancaster's asking him all these questions. And I think it was real for Freddie because he's emotional and he's like, by the end of it, he's, spewing honesty. But it's like Lancaster's seeing somebody that he can, manipulate and kind of bring in. But it's fascinating because if you kind of know what to look for, from the very first scene at the end of the dinner, you can watch him and go, this dude's full of shit.
Yeah. Well,
absolutely full of shit. And it's funny because he has charisma, sure, but like his speech of the dragon doesn't actually make any sense either.
No, it doesn't go anywhere. And everyone's just like clapping and
everyone's
happy.
Like, oh, profound, amazing.
Laura Dern's like, I'm here for it.
Yeah, that's crazy. There are people who seem very sophisticated, very educated, who are like, this is the real. And it's like, they go back in time or whatever in their previous lives and they can unlock. And I guess his stance is like the natural human state is perfection or whatever, all this kind of stuff. But there's stuff where he's just like, yeah, dude, you're just making stuff up. Like, absolutely making stuff up.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think, I think it's the scene where, like, when he starts doing the demonstration of, like, when Freddie goes and touches the wall, then the window, then the wall, whatever.
To the window, to the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Till the sweat drops out of his balls.
I was watching it and I was like, I was watching Lancaster and I was like, he doesn't know what he's going to do next. You know what I mean? He's just going to, like, sure, just touch this wall, touch that, And it's sad because that's a whole sequence, which we can come back to. That's like a whole montage of just like Freddie being just abused. And that's where the like a erotica scene comes in. And then with the scene with his son-in-law where he's like, you can't react to anything he says. He's like, I'm going to fart in your face or whatever.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
What do you think of Lancaster's of the conference that they had? That whole scene.
What conference? I'm sorry.
In Arizona, where they had he released his second book.
Oh yeah.
Anything you want to add? What do you think? I guess
I mean, what did you think about it?
Do you remember the movie, Zach?
Yes.
I just think it was fascinating to me to that shot of him in the dark beforehand, quote unquote getting ready, and I was like, you are bullshitting everything.
Mm-hmm.
And his first speech where he's like, this is not what he says, but it's something along the lines like, there's three things, or there's five things that I found are the key to life, and the key to life is laughter.
Yeah.
Second is, and it's like, wait, what? You know what I mean? And he, earlier on in the movie, he says, when Freddie laughs, he's like, laughter is good, even though it is the sound of animals. And then he's saying the key is laughter.
Was he saying that the laughter was the sound of animals, or was he saying that laughter is good, even though he's laughing at a fart, which was the sound of animals?
I took it as laughter is the sound of animals.
And
an unsystem.
The only animal that laughs is a hyena.
A hyena, I know.
So, but animals fart. I've heard Athena fart.
Yeah, Amos has farted very
I've
loudly.
heard Addie fart.
Addie has farted. She's farted. But I loved the scene after that where Laura Dern's character comes up and is like,
why is this different?
Yeah, she's saying you said, can you imagine, when in the past we've always said, can you recall?
Mm-hmm.
And I get what she's saying is when you say, can you recall, you're implying that it's a memory that you are accessing. And if you can imagine, you're implying that you're making it up. And she's like, that changed everything. And she's like, what do you want?
Yeah.
And to me, that was like, it's falling apart, and I thought he was going to get his comeuppance, and it was going to like crumble.
There's no comeuppance.
No, but then we cut to the desert, and he's like, "Just drive, man, just drive." And that was another one of those scenes where like I was watching, and I was like, "This guy doesn't know like what he's doing. He's trying to pretend to be having psychological and spiritual moments where he's just like driving really fast in the desert." You know what I mean? I don't know. Which then leads to
I do know what you mean. Yeah, I do.
And then we follow Freddie, but then we cut back, and he has like a new giant school in England.
Big, because they're down for the bullshit over there.
I guess so. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting to see. Well, he's not really the lead, even though the movie's called The Master. It was interesting to see him kind of skate through that in the sense of like, to me, it was so obvious of like, this dude's making this up all as he goes. And even his son is like, what do you mean?
Jesse Plemons knows. By the way, that's a good father-son casting.
Oh, yeah. Because everyone's like, oh, I can see it. Dude, Hoffman, he's so good. It's so sad that he passed so young. He's a legend.
Yeah.
I want to hear your thoughts on the scenes where they're trying to like essentially break Freddie.
It's like the window of the wall scene.
Like the window in the wall, and like the scene where he's talking to, I don't know the guy's name, his son-in-law. What'd you call him? Dollar Store Freddie Mercury?
Yeah. Well, because he's in the Queen movie.
And then the erotica scene with Peggy, which to me was very strange, very jarring.
I guess it was unclear to me. Like, so Lancaster Dodd, his whole thing. Just step in and correct me when I'm wrong, because I'm sure I'm going to be wrong at some point. This is just my understanding. His whole thing is that he can help you access memories from past lives, or maybe even like when you're in the womb in this life, in order to like heal trauma and live life in the best way. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Be free or whatever. Yeah.
So that's done through a process called processing, where they like do sit and they close your eyes and think about things and recall a time when blah 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 blah. Right. So I guess all the other exercises are like, because it's other people doing a couple of them. It's not, well, I guess the erotica thing is his wife, but it's like, is this all? I guess they do have a text of like processes. It's just confusing to me that like he's like, all right, babe, I want you to sit down and I want you to read erotica to this man, you know,
yeah.
and she's just like down for it, you know?
Yeah. Well, she seems to be like, in a way, she's kind of pulling the strings too, you know, like she's very much like at the end when Freddie shows up again, she's like, he's beyond helping, and like storms off. And then she like gives Lancaster Dodd like sexual favors, but it says like, you're going to stop this now, while she's
talking
like,
about when she gives him the angry handy in the bathroom.
Yes. But yeah, well, she's doing that while simultaneously saying like, you're going to do X, Y, and Z now because I'm telling you.
That was wild.
Yeah. And like, I think what's interesting is like the window and the wall thing is a way of, I can see just he pushes him to a breaking point. You know what I'm saying? Like he really does.
Well, sure. Yeah. I didn't want to make it sound like I don't understand what they were trying to do. I guess my question is, why is everyone on the same page here with like trying to break this man?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying is like, I can see why the window and the wall thing would be like, okay, just wear him down to he's like, where he's, I don't know what the word, what's
malleable.
Yeah. Like, where he'll conform. And then with his son-in-law, he's throwing just like really triggering words at him until they don't phase him. But then with the erotica thing, I was like, what purpose is this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like she's just, because even he's like, I don't want to hear this. Is it just shock value to make him not react to things? You know, like maybe that.
I think it's like an exposure therapy kind of thing where it's like, obviously he has issues with fantasizing. Like he can't sit at a little craft station without saying, hi, would you like to fuck?
Yeah.
You know?
Or like when they're like, he has the like Rorschach cards, like, what do you see? And he's like, oh, that's
pussy.
Yeah.
It's a dick going in a pussy.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's. I don't
saw
know.
a bat, by the way. I didn't see what he saw. I saw a bat, and I saw two faces looking at each other. You know, the basic stuff.
Basic stuff. But it's sad because it does seem like that. It works for a minute, but then at the conference, when he asks the guy, like, or somebody asks him, like, what do you think of the book? And then Freddie's like, what do you think of it? And he goes, I think it's terrible. I think it sucks.
Yeah.
He's like, you can make this a 3-page pamphlet. And then he lashes out on that guy. He, like, beats him up, which to me it represented, like, the cause. You know, where he's like, well, this didn't work, so now I'm going to lash out against that.
Anybody who speaks out against daddy is going to catch.
Well, I don't think it was that. I don't think he was doing that because he spoke poorly of Lancaster. I think he was just realizing that, like, oh yeah, this is a smoke show. This doesn't.
So then why would he beat the crap out of that guy?
Well, I think he just lashed out. I don't think it. I think that was just the nearest person, just like the dude who was taking the picture. In the beginning, it was just the guy who was there. You know what I mean? That
was odd. I have to say, when he just like put the light like super close to him, and the guy's like, "It's hot. I'm sweating." They just fucking. It's like a hockey fight where they just like hold each other's jerseys. They don't really punch. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like even that was like, I'm trying to think of what happened beforehand. Did he pass out with the girl? And maybe he was he was mad. He was like triggered or whatever, and then like he just takes it out on the first person he sees. I don't know.
Gets kicked out of Sears.
What do you think of the ending? Or did you have a question?
The final confrontation between them when he returns and he's like, I'm as free as a bird, and this bird you cannot change. And then, you know, it's like, and
then he says, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah. And then Lancaster Dodd's like, cut off the fucking music. If you leave, I will hate you forever. In the next life, you will be my nemesis, you bitch. And then it just kind of cuts to black after that. I mean, that was powerful.
Yeah. And he cried. Like it's funny because he's like laughing, but he's like, I think it's interesting because he's like, to me, he's like seeing through it, but it's still emotional of like the pain that it's caused and the sadness that he has with it. I don't know. It's funny because he has that. He said it was a dream, or he was at the movies and like whatever. But I had a point I was gonna make, but I forgot what it was. Oh no, I saw a thing where it compares their first meeting and then their final meeting, and this is the framing of it where Freddie is farther away, and it's a dirty shot where you can kind of see Lancaster Dodd's shoulder.
Oh.
Over. That's what dirty shot means.
I mean, I don't know what dirty shot means. So a dirty shot is when you can see someone's shoulder?
Well, it's like an over the
shoulder boulder holder?
Over the shoulder dirty shot. So you can see Lancaster in Freddie's frame, and then you cut to Lancaster, and he takes up the entire frame. And so in the first meeting, his presence is big. He's always there. And then even when we're looking at Freddie, we can still see Lancaster's, shape. But then in the final confrontation, they're both framed the exact same.
They're equals.
They're equals, exactly. And like Freddie has kind of established
His power has diminished.
His power has diminished, and Freddie's has grown. He's come up to be who he is. And yeah, like I don't know. I just thought it was super powerful. It's one of those things that, like, for me, it's a shocking watch in some ways, and so you can kind of miss some stuff. But I didn't realize the emotion of it until I was kind of through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
that last scene is kind of what hit home for me.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So Lancaster Dodd is like a cult leader. Why was he the captain of a ship? Was he the captain of a ship?
I don't think so, because isn't that why he got arrested?
Is it?
There was something where, like, also you owe this money to this place, but also you owe this
stole a
much
boat?
for, like, damages to a ship or something like that.
Right. So, like, how'd they get the boat? Was he steering the boat?
Oh, do you mean like who was actually, like, driving the boat?
Correct, because he says, like, are you the captain? He says, I'm the commander, or something like that. Makes it sound like it's his boat, you know. I just want to know if this man was bullshitting driving a boat, because that's dangerous.
He's just a liar. Well, there were damages to it, so, like...
Oh, shit, so it could have been him. Yeah, he just
Yeah.
slammed it right into the side of wherever they were. Where were they?
There was a shot of the boat, like, driving away that looked like the Golden Gate Bridge that I thought maybe they were just in the valley somewhere.
By the way, he said the boat was named Aletheia. I think it was probably named something else because it wasn't his fucking boat. But he said the boat was named Aletheia, which is like ancient Greek for truth.
Truth. Do you think he was... Would you have believed his techniques if you were alive back, or would you be the pig fuck guy who was like, this is crap?
Listen, if Laura Dern, Amy Adams, and Rami Malek came up to me and said, listen, you got to drink this Kool-Aid and then stick this thing up your butt. Come on, we're going. I would consider it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool cast of people, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, and if you say that you wouldn't, you're lying.
Oh, man. Well, on that note, Zach, do you have anything else that you want to add to this?
No.
Well, then I have a question for you. What were you reading?
I'm reading things about the movie.
Just see if you have anything else to add.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Zach, we've said a lot. But my question to you is The Master good?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. I don't think it extends beyond that for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Like compared to some of the other movies that we've done recently, I'm not sure it compares. But it's a good film.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I would say that this is a very solid film. If you like these kinds of psychological dramas,
if you want to listen to Philip Seymour Hoffman yell "pig fuck," just like that, man, that had me cracking up. Did you watch the video I sent you? You can hear me laughing in the background.
I don't think I did. So what it was is I knew you were watching the movie, but I was watching something else with Hannah, so I knew I was going to have like 25 messages.
Oh, it was more like 50.
Yeah. That was a lot. But yeah, it's really good. I think this is a movie to watch if you love really stellar acting and really good direction. Even, it's a challenging film as far as the subject matter and like the points it's getting across. It's very subjective and kind of ambiguous. But the cast puts on a stellar performance. So I'd say it's good.
I lost you for a second.
Oh, no.
I'm sure you...
So many mean things about you.
Okay. Did you wrap up? Did you... Are we
Yes.
done talking? Okay. Because I couldn't hear you.
I'm pulling up.
You came back and you're just staring at me.
I'm pulling up Letterboxd. My internet is just being so crappy.
Because every movie sucks. That's why. So this is the part of the episode where we read bad reviews because somebody hates the movie that you love.
Somebody does hate it. My Chrome's working. Let me just pull this up. Reviews. Gonna sort by the worst. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay, let's find one. All right, this is... I need the lowest first. Here we go. Stop. Computer.
Okay, JJ Jake Gitz says, it's not about acting. It's not about directing. I tell you, it's about story and telling, and this is so bad. This is about an idiot, alcoholic, aggressive, violent, traumatized guy who gets into... Well, that's great. That's very good storytelling. Who gets into the clutches of an asshole, i.e. Ron Hubbard. Or we can say this is about what happens to people with an emotionally unstable personality disorder who then join Scientology. Again, this story is really a pain in the ass, such a bore, such a waste of great actors.
I see a lot of Scientology parallels.
Secret knowledge.
It says, half-star Dylan Hill. What the actual F? Thought-provoking, I guess. Stunning cinematography, but still, what the F did I just watch? Do not waste your time with this BS unless you really like to be different. I like to be different.
Bob's son Nut says, great acting and everything, but sorry, I don't know why trying to pronounce that name really got me, but this film really bored the arse off of me. I kept watching, hoping that something would happen, then it ended.
This says, it's Brandon, half-star. I fucking hate this movie. I think it's my least favorite movie of all time. Do one more, and we're going to be done.
Maria Jose says, it's a no from me, dog. You got to do one more because I just did 3 and you've only done 2.
All right. This one's short. It says, Bailey Jewel 16 half-star says, I'm embarrassed to have watched this movie. Terrible. Okay. There you go. Guys have it. That movie sucks. It's the master. The master of the movie. Zach, can you do my shindig song? Oh, wait, you going to say something? What are you going to say?
It's not important.
Are you sure?
I was just going to say that we didn't talk about how the master baits him into exhibiting certain behaviors. Because he does. He baits him.
He does bait him. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. On that note, Zach, give me a shindig song, please.
It's time for the shindigs. That's the news. Hunter's going to talk about the news, and then Zach's going to talk about something we're not really sure. Probably the Hawks, because they're on a 4-game winning streak. But right now, it's the news, and it's going to be, this week's news is going to be longer than next week's news, because next week's news is coming in 2 days. So there's not going to be a whole lot of it. So just, but
enjoy.
Probably could talk about that on the next episode.
Enjoy this news. Yeah, that's true. We're going to record in a couple of days because I'm going to be in New York City. So Zach's right. There's going to be longer news this time. Here we go. Ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Zach, you ready? News. Apparently Taika Waititi has been fired from Thor 5.
Okay.
Because people still care, I guess. Sylvester Stallone's movie The Samaritan, it got shit reviews, but it's getting a sequel. He plays a superhero. Henry Cavill is going to be starring in a Highlander reboot.
Interesting.
I think I saw that somewhere. I might have just made it up. I'm pretty sure that's happening. John Cena's new action comedy has debuted at 0%.
That's not the cat movie, is it?
I'm not sure. Is there a cat movie that he's in?
Argyle. When's Argyle come out?
No, that's not it.
Okay. Yeah, it's the cat movie. When I say the cat movie, I'm talking about Argyle.
Okay, gotcha. We have some Marvel news that I think is funny. Marvel is apparently considering a new Avengers film with bringing back the original cast and resurrecting Iron Man and Black Widow in the wake of Phase 4 and 5 failures. They also might be pivoting away from Kang and moving towards Doctor Doom. And I followed that up with basically Marvel is a mess.
Isn't Doctor Doom the actual like main villain in Secret Wars?
I'm pretty sure, yes.
So it's like they're just going with the actual plot of.
Well, because they've announced Secret Wars and King Dynasty, but like apparently I
Mhm.
haven't seen. These spoilers. I haven't seen Loki, but I saw something. Apparently, every form of Kang that has appeared so far. That's not true because at the end of Ant-Man and whatever they showed a million of them, but every form of Kang that's appeared in like the main storyline. So like He Who Remains at the end of Loki, Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man, and then there's somebody else in Loki too. They've all died. So like they're killing them all. I don't know. I haven't seen Loki season 2. Apparently it's good, but I haven't watched it. We got a new trailer for The Fall Guy, which is starring Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, Aaron Taylor-Johnson. We got a teaser for Kingdoms of the Planet of the Apes. That's coming. Yep. There was a news that Creature Commandos, the DCU animated series, has been delayed until 2025, but actually, just kidding. James Gunn said that's not true. We get our first look at the MCU's new show called Echo, which has Daredevil and Kingpin, and it is the first Marvel show to be rated mature. And then Nick Cage has responded to his cameo in The Flash, where he fought the giant spider, and he said, "I didn't do that. I was on set for like 3 hours, and I was just looking, basically just standing there staring, and I guess they just made him fight a spider." So that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty evident when you watch that he wasn't acting. They built it on a computer.
Yeah. And then the one that I just wrote down during this episode is I saw that this is fascinating, and I don't see why people don't realize that that the bubble is popping actively. Because think about it, we didn't do Blue Beetle, we're not doing the Marvels. I don't know if we'll do Aquaman 2. There's a lot of good movies coming out in December, so Aquaman 2 is pretty far down on the list. The bubble is popping. The Marvels, the new MCU movie coming out this month, right? I think it's like next week with Captain Marvel and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Is on track to open lower than Black Adam and The Flash.
That's a big yikes, because we knew The Flash was going to be bad. Well, maybe not all of us. I knew The Flash was going to be bad.
The Flash wasn't even that bad. The Flash was better than Black Adam. The Flash was better than Black Adam.
Yes.
I'd rather watch The Flash 100 times than watch Black Adam.
If you made me watch The Flash if you gave me the choice between the two, I would say, what about that gun with the bullet in it? if it was between watching either of those movies 100 times.
It's just because Batman's in it. That's the only reason I would want to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But both of those movies were absolute shit shows, and they both bombed big time. And The Marvels is on track to do worse than those two movies. That would have to be Marvel's worst box office, like by far.
That's a death knell, you know.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting because I'm not interested in going to see the Marvels. I don't care.
Nope.
Don't care. I don't even know what the story is of the MCU anymore.
You said we missed one? Blue Beetle. Yeah, we did.
Blue Beetle. Which apparently wasn't bad. Apparently it was fine. But, like, I don't know, man. Like, the bubble's popping.
I'm telling you, I said it six months, maybe it was sooner than 6 months ago, but I said that the new thing's going to be the video game movies. Was it last week that,
Five Nights at Freddy's?
Five Nights at Freddy had the highest opening night for a video game?
I actually didn't know that was a video game.
Really?
Really, I've never heard of it. But
interesting.
At work, people had saw it, and they were like, "Whoa, this movie!" And I was like,
"Did they like it?"
I think so. Corey, who did Blade Runner, did this. He said that the first half was great, then it just fell apart.
Okay.
I think that's what he said. I could be wrong. But yeah, like honestly, when it comes to the superhero stuff, I imagine I'll watch Blue Beetle when it gets on Max at some point. I'm interested in Aquaman 2. But I'm perfectly fine with not seeing any of them until the new Superman comes out in like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And that's only because I'd be interested to see like a new take on it. After the Marvels, I actually don't even know what the next Marvel movie is. after the Marvels.
We're also not really into what's the most recent video game movie? Oh, Gran Turismo.
Well, that's also because we had somebody like Chase asked us to do it. I don't know if we would have done a movie on our own.
What's the most recent? Was it Mortal Kombat? Was the most recent video game movie that we did of our own volition?
I think so, because we didn't see Mario.
We didn't see Mario.
I didn't. And this is TV, so we wouldn't have done it. But I didn't watch the Last of Us.
We haven't done Battleship.
No, we haven't done Battleship.
It's not a video game, actually, is it? I'm sure there's a Battleship video game.
Probably. And I expect us to do Mortal Kombat 2 because we love Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
Anyway, that's the news. There you go.
Are you buying the game? Are you buying the new game?
I have to. Not for the Switch. Not for the Switch. I can't have the Switch.
Have you seen the videos of how bad it looks?
I've seen like screen grabs, and I'm like, that looks like shit. If I had money to blow on like a cheap Xbox S or whatever it is, I get it, but I can't justify it, man. I can't justify it. I do want it because it looks great, and my boy's back. Reptile looks cool, but
do you know how you justify it? You could get years of gaming pleasure. You just don't go to Trilith like twice.
It's true.
Oh, goodness. No, I get it.
Zach, do you have a shindig for us this week?
We can talk about the Hawks because
The Hawks?
because they started the year off 0-2, but they've won 4 in a row now, and they're 4-2. And we being the Hawks fans, we're convinced that they're going to go 80-2.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Look out for it.
The Falcons are in a tight game today, 21-21.
Mm-hmm. Taylor Heineke is our quarterback, not Desmond Ridder.
Yep.
And there's many variables that went into that decision.
Hey, Georgia Tech won 2 games in a row. They're third in the ACC.
Who'd they beat this week?
Virginia.
I didn't know Virginia had a football team.
Virginia just beat North Carolina and took Miami to overtime. Georgia Tech
wow.
won 45-17. Georgia won.
Wow.
Georgia won as well. So it's been a Falcons need to win tonight so the state of Georgia can have a good weekend.
Have you heard anything about this Michigan stuff?
The like sign stealing thing?
Mm-hmm.
I read a little bit about it.
There's this guy that was like on their payroll who was going around filming teams to steal their signs and had like this manifesto on how he was going to take over the program and like lead them to glory. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. But now Michigan is saying that the information that has been handed over to like the NCAA committee was illegally obtained by Ohio State. So it's just a big shit show. It's a big shit show. They're basically saying yes, we cheated, but it's like if you were like, yes, Your Honor, there were drugs in my car, but they didn't have probable cause to search my car, like that kind of thing, right?
Yeah. And it just so happens that our biggest rival is the one who like tipped him off.
Yeah.
Or something. Or like somehow was involved. That's hilarious. That's wild. Anyway, Zach, that was very hawk of you. Very, 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 yeah, I guess we can do that. Very hawk of you. Whiskey shots.
Time to get my whiskey shot.
Are you, okay, cool.
Listen, man, I'm fucking sick. I don't want to take a shot of whiskey right now.
I'm just doing a small one. A wee little one. This is to whiskey.
You'd think you'd have some empathy for me. You know how like
Nah.
there's been at least like once or twice
I don't like you.
where Hannah's just sick for like months, and it's like she can't like she'll get better, but then she just gets sick again. Like this has happened at least once. That's me right now. So have some empathy. I'm not taking a shot.
Do you want to start over? Do you want to try this segment again?
We can't.
Okay.
Sorry, did I go too far?
Whiskey shots. Zach, are you going to take a shot of whiskey? Oh, wait, Zach, you're sick. You don't have to take a shot of whiskey. You can...
I went too far. I'm sorry, Hunter. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have brought hands into it.
No, I'm just kidding. Zach, you can do what you want. Please. Zach has his shot. Well, it's funny because we used to pretend, because we don't see the video of this. We'd be like, oh, we're ready. We'd drink water and be like, ugh. And now you're just like, I'm not doing it. I'm doing it for whiskey. To whiskey.
To whiskey.
If we get a whiskey to sponsor us, would you take a shot of whiskey then?
It's got to be something real smooth.
Maybe we can get Freddie to make a drink for us.
Oh yeah, that looked incredibly smooth. Whatever he was cooking up.
Zach, where can they find us? Do you know still?
No. I listen. I'm not the social media guy. Okay. We split the labor up so that it's equal, right? So you do the editing, the social media, all the communications, and I'm obviously the talent.
That was one of my best dad laughs I've ever had.
Now, if you give me a script, I can read a script. I'll read it every week. Okay.
Good deal. I might just do that. But you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Bud is a Good Podcast. On X at BIIG Podcast. Follow me at Hunter Callahan Music everywhere. Follow Zach at Zach with an H. To the number, the THA, future.31. We're doing her next week.
Yep. You want to listen to an hour long clip of two guys doing her?
I said that, and I was like, no, come back. The movie Her. Okay, that's all we've got. You good? Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
But is it good podcast? Yeah.